Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Kirsti, and in today's video we are making 2 sheet pan dinner recipes. They look absolutely delicious. I love sheet pan dinners because they're usually quick, easy, and very minimal cleanup. Now, both of these recipes are new to me, so we're going to be making those for the first time together. Before we get started on those recipes, I do want to thank Sammi from Managin The May for collaborating with me on today's video. Sammi is such a sweet friend that I have made here on YouTube. If you don't already know Sammi, or if you're not subscribed to her channel, you're going to be really thankful that you found her today. She shares a ton of awesome recipe ideas. I know that I am just constantly adding her recipes to my meal plan because they look so good. She also shares her weekly grocery hauls. Sometimes she'll go to Walmart, Kroger, sometimes even Food Lion. Sammi is also going to be sharing some really cool sheet pan dinner ideas today. So after you watch my video, make sure you go over to her channel, subscribe, and let her know that I sent you. The first sheet pan recipe idea we're doing tonight, it's kind of a mouthful, so bear with me, but it is a teriyaki ginger sesame chicken and broccoli. For this recipe, it did say that we needed 2 bell peppers. Technically, the recipe said 1 red and 1 yellow, but here at the house, I already had 2 green, so we're just gonna go with that. I have a smaller onion, some broccoli, some sesame seeds. That's pretty much gonna be like for the topping and garnish. And then of course we have some chicken here. We're gonna have to dice that up into smaller bite-sized pieces. And now for all of this, we're gonna have a marinade. So for that marinade, you need some teriyaki sauce. You can make that homemade. We like the Sweet Baby Ray's teriyaki sauce. We needed some honey, some oil, ground ginger, garlic powder, red pepper flakes, and then salt and pepper. Now let's make our marinade. I'm actually making a double recipe of the marinade, mainly because I like a lot of sauce with my recipes, so I want to make sure I have plenty. So I'm adding in 1 cup of the teriyaki sauce. I'm going to eyeball about 3 to 4 tablespoons of honey. I don't want to add too much of the honey just because the teriyaki sauce that I have is a sweet teriyaki sauce. Sorry y'all. So I don't want it to be too sweet. About 3 tablespoons of oil. Two tablespoons of ground ginger. I'm just going to eyeball some garlic powder. Sprinkle in some red pepper flakes. And some salt and pepper to taste. To the bowl with our meat and veggies, we're going to add about half of that marinade, and we're going to reserve the other half for the topping when it comes out of the oven. And then we'll mix this together, and we just want to make sure all the pieces get really well coated with some of that marinade. And we're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. before we put it in the oven. After 10 minutes, go ahead and lay your chicken and veggies out on your sheet pan as evenly as you can. Bake in a 350-degree oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. You just want to make sure your veggies get tender and your chicken is cooked all the way through. Okay, y'all, so it is done. Let's go ahead and give it a try. I decided to serve mine over some brown rice. The recipe said you can eat it as is or serve it over rice. So I just popped some rice in my Instant Pot. That is amazing. I love Chinese food and I love making Chinese inspired things at home. This one is amazing. Y'all really need to make this one. All right, y'all, so for our second recipe, we are making sheet pan quesadillas, and this one looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun to make. I have some ground beef here in my skillet. Now, you don't have to do this with ground beef. You can always use chicken. Now, we just had some ground beef already thawed out in the refrigerator, so I wanted to make sure to use that so it didn't go to waste. But now we need to chop up 1 onion and 1 bell pepper. Let's go ahead and add our onion and our bell pepper to this ground beef, and we'll just let those all cook down together. Our ground beef and veggies are completely done, so I'm adding in 1 package of just mild taco seasoning. Add in a can of Rotel drained. And a can of corn drained. I'm also adding in some Fiesta Blend cheese. And the reason I want to add that in is because I was talking to my husband about this meal earlier, and he said if we added some cheese to the mixture, because you're going to add cheese when you add it to the sheet pan, like on top. But we were talking if we added it to the meat now, this cheese would kind of help bind the meat together. So that way when we cut it off the pan, the meat just doesn't fall out of the tortillas. So we're going to try this, and I think it's actually going to work pretty well. I think I want to add in a little bit more cheese. So this is going to be really cheesy, and I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. But once I get this stirred in, I'm just going to let it sit for just a couple of minutes just to let that corn and Rotel warm up and let this cheese melt in. Let's get started now on layering the tortillas on our sheet pan. Now the amount of tortillas we use is just going to depend on what size of tortilla you use. I'm using some of these carb balance tortillas, so they're more of like a smaller taco size. One recipe I saw online used the large burrito size, so really just whatever you prefer. But the way I'm adding it to the pan is I'm going to put about half of it on the pan and the other half over the edge, because once we get this filled up, we're going to add the meat mixture on top of the tortillas, and then we're going to go around the edges and fold these over. So you want to make sure you have about half of it over here on the edge so we can fold it on top. But I'm just going to take my tortillas and kind of do that all the way around. I kind of played with this a little earlier just to kind of get a feel for it before I talk to you all about it. And on mine, I'm not sure what size pan I have. It's a pretty large pan. My husband bought me this for Christmas. I was really excited. And mine's pretty large, so I think I ended up with having 2 on the ends here and then 3 on the long sides. And I think that's going to work the best, just because I don't want any gaps or anything. And I'm trying to leave space right here on the corners so that way they fold evenly. But we're just going to keep doing this all the way around. Just need to put about 3 more on here. 2 and 3. And then as you see, we still have this space right here in the middle. So I'm going to take 2 more tortillas. I'm going to place one right here on this side, and then I'm going to place one right here on this side. And there's a little bit of a gap here, so I'm just going to take this tortilla that's on the edge and just kind of push it in a little bit. That way we just don't have any gaps and none of that good meat mixture falls onto the bottom. Now that we have that laid out, and we're just going to take our ground beef and we're just going to try and evenly spread it along the whole sheet pan. This would be great for a party just because it is so big, and that way you don't have to make a lot of individual quesadillas. You can just make this one big sheet pan one, and then we'll cut it into smaller pieces when we get done. So I have that evenly spread out. I'm going to take some more Fiesta blend cheese. If I'd have thought about it before I put this meat mixture down, I probably would have put another layer of cheese on the bottom. But I didn't think about that until right now. So if you make this, put an extra layer of cheese on the bottom. I think that will help too. So I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle some of this on top. And I'm not going to be shy. My husband loves cheese. So I want to make sure it's really nice and cheesy. One idea I thought about was you can use whatever cheese you like. If you just like cheddar, you can use that. I'm using the Fiesta blend. And I was also thinking, if you like more of a spicy, you can add some jalapenos to your ground beef, or you can use pepper jack cheese. I think either one of those would be great. All right, so I think that's going to be plenty of cheese. So now we need to start going around and flipping the pieces that are on the edge here. We're going to flip these up. Just like this. We're going to keep going all the way around. There's that last one. And then I have 2 more tortillas here. We're going to sit, oh wait, nope, I did it wrong. Okay, let's unfold these. See, I told y'all earlier I was making these with y'all for the first time, so it's okay if we mess up a little bit. I want to put these on the inside like this, and then we'll flip these over. Yeah, that's the way I think it should be. We'll just keep folding. Perfect. Oh, that looks good. Okay, and there's no gaps here on the top. Before you put this in the oven, you're going to want to take another sheet pan. I don't have another sheet pan the same size as this big one here, so I'm just going to take the smaller one, and we're just going to sit it right there on top. And the reason we do this, I think, is so that way when it starts cooking, these edges don't curl up. So we're going to leave this just like that. We'll bake this in a 425-degree oven for about 20 minutes. After that 20 minutes is up, you'll take it out, remove the sheet pan on top, put it back in your oven for another 5 minutes until the top gets nice golden brown. All right, y'all, so here we have it, our final product. It smells amazing, so let's go ahead and give it a try. You can use a fork if you want to, but I did notice it's pretty stiff, so it's kind of handheld. So I'm just gonna use my hands, especially for the taste test right now. But let's give it a try. That is really, really good. Of course, adding in whatever kind of veggies that you like to add into quesadillas, go ahead and add that in there. This is super versatile. Y'all, you need to make this. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me in the kitchen today. If you enjoyed this type of video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below on which one of these recipes you're most excited to make, because I promise you, they're both amazing. Don't forget to go check out Sammi's channel. I will have it linked down in my description box below. Like I said earlier, she is also sharing some sheet pan dinner ideas. So y'all are gonna get a ton of inspiration on some super quick, super easy, and delicious dinners. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.